Life comes to those who are willing, not those who just run and hide. Those who just run and hide. Creatures of habit and creatures of comfort, that's all there is, it seems. Boastfully building a future worth telling, a mountain of technical things. Well, you were built like the phoenix to rise back to the top. And you don't have to know who you are, you just have to know who you're not. You have to know who you're not.
Well, welcome to the Best You discussion, and we'd like to thank our good friend Amy Hendrickson for providing us the music for our discussions. And you can check out Amy at amyhendricksonmusic.com. Amy is a gifted and talented singer-songwriter, and she also has a documentary to her list of credentials. So thank you, Amy. Again, welcome to the Best You discussion, and here's some things we'd like you to know and like you to do. We'd like you to like our Facebook page. Just check the like. The more likes, the better off we like it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes, we do have a YouTube channel of all our previous discussions, so subscribe to it. It's free. Visit our website, bestyouguru.com. Again, bestyouguru.com. Also, send us an email, bestyouguru@yahoo.com. Send us your questions, your comments, your hopes, your aspirations, your dreams, whatever, and we'll try to get to you. Chances are we will. Send us an email. And sign up to, while you're sending us an email, sign up to receive our bi-monthly blogs. We'd like to discuss topics that are relevant to you. It is because of you we provide the bi-monthly blogs and the websites and the email services, the Facebook page. We depend upon your support. So what we ask you to do is to send your donations either Venmo or PayPal. You can use Venmo just go to Venmo-Robin-Shivery, Venmo@Robin-Shivery. So send donations to Venmo@Robin-Shivery, or you can use PayPal by sending them to bestyouguru@yahoo.com. The greatest theft in human history has been the theft of human potential. And our mission, our desire, our purpose is to help stop that threat and to connect you to your authentic identity so you can live your greatness, fulfill your potential. Allowing you to understand your authentic identity is what we do. There are too many people living lives as who they were told to be rather than who they were meant to be. One critical element in living your potential, living your greatness, is understanding the world around you. That which surrounds you often determines you. And money is something that surrounds you. The money may not be the most important thing in the world, but it ranks pretty high. Without adequate monetary resources, without the proper funding, without being able to sustain yourself, achieving your dreams is more difficult. And we do live in economic times where understanding the economic world is pretty important. Tonight, our topic is investment funds. 2008 serves as an example that a competitive market, as designed by Adam Smith, does not always do well. It does not always magically ensure that capital flows to the most productive. Unbridled greed created the ingredients for the Great Recession. Unbridled greed is the enemy of capitalism. Adam Smith spoke of it, told us we should be concerned with it. And unbridled greed was what we witnessed in the Great Recession. The economy was doing well prior to 2008. And one of the area of the economy that was doing extremely well, or so we thought, was the housing industry. People were buying real estate and lenders were eager to loan the money. It was a good business. Everybody thought that deregulating the financial industry was great. But we allowed the demand to be in command. The demand to deregulate took over the financial markets and became in command. And so I want you to take some notes because the deregulation created an unstable economy. It was the destabilizing factor in our Great Recession. So take some notes. Number one, and we're concerning ourselves with the real estate market. Buyers applied for loans from a lender. How easy is that? How common is that? Happens all the time. Buyers applied for loans. And two, the lenders loaned the money to the buyers so they could purchase the American dream. They could purchase their home. Understand that loan officers would receive bonuses for the loans they closed. As a result, the loan officers did not always verify that the information on the loan application was suitable or even truthful, because the loan officers had a vested interest in making sure the loans were approved. The ones approving the loans had a vested interest in making sure they were approved. Do you see a problem? Once the loans were approved, the loan officers received bonuses, and the bank or mortgage company then resold the mortgage. Why? Why would you resell a mortgage? Easy. Short-term profits. They made a commission. They received a bonus. They received monetary compensation for selling the mortgage to someone else. This became very popular innovation. More people became involved in getting a share of the pie. Instead of making money from the interest from the homeowner when they paid their mortgage payments every month, the money was being made from selling and reselling the mortgages. A particular mortgage could be sold over and over and over and over, and a commission was received every time it was sold. These mortgages were bundled together and sold as mortgage-backed securities to investment firms, to investment groups. A mortgage-backed security, an MBS, is an investment similar to a bond. Investors in a mortgage-backed security received periodic payments off the interest. All right? Everything sounds good. Follow me so far. Then we've been taught that mortgages are safe because they are backed by the collateral of a home. What could be safer than investing in a home? The American dream. The symbol of American dream is the home ownership. So it had to be safe, correct? The mortgage-backed securities were then sliced up by investment institutions at bottom, bundled together, and then sliced up and then sold as collateralized debt obligations, CDO. These collateralized debt obligations were sold to pension funds, 401k funds, and other investment vehicles. They were sold to cities. They were sold to anybody. Lots of people bought the CDOs because they considered the collateralized debt obligations as good. Why? Because they were backed by mortgage-backed securities. They were backed by the American dream. What could go wrong? Hope you're keeping notes. Commissions and fees and bonuses were all earned by financial institutions and fund managers by the sale of these financial obligations. Wall Street was awash with money. The stock market was making the rich even richer. People were making money, and the retirement of millions and millions of people were secured with these investments. What could go wrong, right? What could go wrong? Remember, the agents selling the financial instruments knew homeowners better than anyone, but they were receiving rewards for the sale of the mortgage. They were not rewarded for making sure that people could afford the mortgage. They were not rewarded for making sure that the new homeowners had a job. They were not rewarded for making sure the loan application was truthful. The people applying for the loans were often encouraged to, let's say, embellish their income. Whether or not they had the ability to repay the loan was not the concern of many of the financial institutions. Why? Because their interest was the sale of the financial instrument, not whether or not the people could pay it back or not, because they were rewarded for selling it. Let us understand that many of these new homeowners had little idea of what they were signing up for. The majority were not sophisticated borrowers with superior financial understanding. Many of these new homeowners simply did not understand the terms of the loan agreement. If you've ever been to a closing, and I've bought many houses, you sit down there and hundreds of pieces of paper put before you. Are they not? And then you're asked to sign here, sign here, sign here. And you often sign not even realizing what you're signing. Most people at a closing are so happy they're getting a new property, they just sign. They put their trust in the quote-unquote financial experts selling the device, the instrument, the mortgage. Well, many of these new loans were what they called adjustable rate mortgages. And many of the new homeowners did not know they were signing up for an adjustable rate mortgage. They just knew the mortgage payment next month would be a certain amount. And everything was fine for 3, 4, 5 years until the adjustable rate mortgage went up. And oftentimes, the monthly payment went up 50% or more. A lot of people didn't realize they were signing up for an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage. All of these home loans were bundled together to form the mortgage-backed securities and sold as collateral loan obligations. They were sliced up, diced up, and sold off. And with every sale came a sales commission. But bear in mind that if you had an adjustable rate mortgage and you didn't know it, you may be in for a shock 3 to 5 years later. Good loans, people that could afford a standard conventional mortgage, they were bundled together with bad loans. Adjustable rate mortgages were bundled with conventional loans, with all sorts of good loans, bad loans, questionable loans, solid loans, all bundled together, and rating agencies rated them. Now bear in mind, the people rating them and giving them a AAA rating for their investment, were paid by the very people that sold the loans, that made the loan instruments. So it was in the best interest of the rating agencies to rate them so that people would keep coming back and paying them for the ratings. All bundled together, these were sold not as really as safe investments. They were sold to earn a commission. They were not purchased as a way to maintain some kind of financial security, more of a way to earn a commission. And few if any regulations were put into place. After all, this was the derivative market was a new market for politicians. Most had no idea what was taking place. Many people, and even today, believe that the free market should regulate its own and the government should stay out of it, that we should have no regulations. Then the economy took a dip. Many of those people that got an ARM could no longer afford their mortgages. People lost their jobs. Loans began to be exposed as something, say, less than honest transaction. The mortgage rates changed. Jobs disappeared. And people who bought these CDOs that put their money in their security in their pension funds and their 401ks in the investment vehicles produced by the collateralized loan obligations. Well, people could not afford the monthly payments of the mortgages, and so the people who bought these financial instruments had a domino effect. The owners of the securities, the pension funds, the 401k funds, the investment companies, the banks, people were being laid off. The entire economy came into jeopardy. The house of cards began to fall. The impact of this period of unbridled greed is still being felt today. Fortunes were made from these financial instruments and lives destroyed because of greed. Let me explain how a hedge fund and private equity fund managers make money off of you and me, and then are able to scam the government to receive tax dollars for bailouts in case it doesn't work as well as planned and they're at risk. Many and most likely the majority of fund managers operate with other people's money using the 2 and 20 principle. They receive 2% of what's invested plus 20% of the investment returns. This means that if you manage $10 billion, which in a housing industry is not hard to do, you manage $10 billion, you earn a 10% return on the investment funds and earn a $400 million. You could earn $400 million in 1 year. That's 2% of the assets, which is $200 million, and 20% of the returns, which is another $200 million. So you've made your $400 million this year. But what if the year 2009 occurs again and your investments are reduced by 50% and you are left with less than half of your funds? You lose half your money. You and I, the average people investing in these funds, lose half their money. And the fund manager doesn't give you any money back. Even if they saw the storm coming, even if they knew what was going to happen, they're under no obligation to give you any money back, even if they created a storm. Think about it this way. Through a time warp, you travel from 1812 to 2021. You discovered that an automobile was now the mode of transportation. So you take a quick driving lesson. It's not that hard to drive. And you purchase an automobile and off you drive. Wonderful. You know nothing of needing a driver's license, needing insurance. You know very little of speed limits, traffic lights, road signs. Heck, most of us don't know what half the road signs are anymore, much less somebody from 1812. The person from 1812 knows nothing about how an automobile really works. But you did the time travel, and now you gave the person your money, and off you drove. Damn, you feel good. You're driving this fine automobile, going faster than you ever did in 1812. Large and in charge, that's how you felt. A couple of weeks later, you decide to drive to the West Coast. And if you live on the West Coast, so you drove to the East Coast because you have never seen the ocean. So you get in your brand new shiny automobile, and several hundred miles later, your automobile starts making a strange sound, and it slows down and finally stops. You try to start it, but to no avail. You ran out of gas, but no one told you how the automobile worked. No one told you that the automobile required gasoline. But okay, no harm, no foul, because someone just drove by and told you about gasoline, and you said, damn, is that all I need to do is get some gasoline? Someone comes by and puts gasoline in the automobile for you. Boy, you escaped a tragedy, didn't you? And off you go, driving down again. You breathe a sigh of relief. You continue your trip to the West Coast. About 1,000 miles later, the car starts making a louder sound and smoke comes out from under the hood. And you hear a lot of loud knocking. The car stops once again, and you sit all alone at the side of the road. Don't know what's going on. You need more gas? A good Samaritan once again comes by and discovered you have no engine oil. You become furious because no one told you the car needed gas. No one told you that the engine required oil. Your engine is blown, and all you have left is a shell of a car, a non-working investment of your money that looks good but does not function properly. You trusted the car salesperson. You trusted them because they were the expert. They knew the car, and you gave them your money. You have an automobile, but is it providing what you expected? Is it providing what you were led to believe? My friends, this is often how investment works. You invest in a vehicle, whether it's a 401k, an IRA, or stock, a pension. You invest, but you really have no idea how it works. You hand over your money and believe all is good. But in 2009, millions of Americans lost the majority of their money within their 401ks due to Wall Street. Did the hedge fund managers or private investment managers really suffer? They made the money, they made the churn off of the dollars from selling the vehicles, the financial vehicles, over and over again, using your 401k as the method to make the money. And they're back now, but most Americans aren't back. This is how most investments work. The 2 and 20 rule provides the salesperson a comfortable cushion to make it through the Great Recession. And guess what? They're back operating at it again. You see commercials on TV, zero down, just get into the house, because the money is not made from the sale of the house. It is made from the sale of the financial instrument. And we're back operating under the same rules, and millions of Americans are handing over their money and still not understanding the gas and oil required for their investments. We deregulated once again a lot of the financial regulations required that they maintain some kind of honesty. But the market demands, those market people who say about the free market shall prevail, say it's up to you to understand the investment you're signing, not that they tell the truth. It makes me no difference whether you're on the free market side or the heavy regulation side. What does make a difference to me and to those of us at Best You is that you understand the rules of the game you're playing. It is our lack of understanding the economic games that we play that hurts our economy, that hurts all of us. Whether you believe that our economic welfare is best served by a strong middle class or a strong upper middle class, or whether we all should be determined by the very top 0.1%, is a matter of opinion. But if you're going to thrive and prosper in this economy, at least you should know the rules. When investing, I ask you to follow the advice of a man I've read a lot about and a man I really admire, a gentleman named Warren Buffett. Now, Warren believes that you should only invest in things you understand. Don't invest in anything you don't understand. I'm not understanding, you don't necessarily need to understand all the nuts and bolts, but you really should have some idea of what you're investing in. So please, what I ask you to do is go back, look at your 401k, look at your savings account, look at your IRAs, whatever you place your money in, look at your mortgage. Understand the rules of where you're putting your money. Please don't invest in anything you don't understand. I thank you for your time, and again, thank Amy for her music, and please send your questions and your comments to bestyouguru@yahoo.com. We like to hear from you. We like to answer your questions. We'd like for you to live the best possible life that you can and live your inherent greatness. Remember, there are two types of pain in this world. Two types of pain: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Choose wisely, my friend. Namaste.
Talk to me now, come sit beside me, I am your willing ear. Drop all your troubles right down to the floor, they don't define you here. Well, you were built like the phoenix to rise back to the top. And you don't have to know who you are, you just have to know who you're not. You have to know who